I'm Emily Cate Topczewski, and this is We the Voters. Hello and welcome to the We the Voters podcast. I'm your host, Emily Cate, and I'm so happy to have you here. We the Voters is a multimedia interview project I launched in July 2019. And the We the Voters podcast is my next step in better understanding the many pieces of this American puzzle. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I wanted to come on here and say hi, and to introduce the project before the first season launches in just a few weeks. That way, when the day finally arrives, we can dive in and learn more about the United States together right away. So let's get started. Hi, hello, welcome. I'm Emily Cate. I'm a writer, a photographer, a filmmaker, an entrepreneur, and now a podcast host. I grew up in Wisconsin in a close-knit family, always telling stories and dreaming up my next big scheme. When I was younger, I used to make my own newspapers on Microsoft Publisher and distribute them at family parties. One year, I wrote a letter to Santa and asked to see the USA, a map. If only I knew then how far that dream would grow. In July 2019, I hit the road to visit small towns and large cities across the country to conduct interviews and better understand my fellow Americans. I started We the Voters because I truly believe we are more alike than we are different. That when we sit down and we talk to each other and we actually listen, we can find common ground that makes the United States a better place for all of its citizens. Why should you listen to me? Well, I always say that I come from a little bit of a lot of worlds. I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat. In fact, I voted on both sides of the aisle. I spent a summer working for a conservative talk show host, but I also interned for a Democrat in Congress. I grew up in a Catholic family, but I also worked at an LGBT center. A journalism degree taught me how to ask questions, and being an extrovert means that I've never stopped asking them. It comes down to this. I believe in gathering stories from all perspectives. I believe in factual, unbiased reporting. I believe in sharing stories as fully and as fairly as I can. I believe that every person has a story worth telling. My background is filled with my own stories, but everyone, in its own way, has led me to talking with you right now. This winding path has given me the curiosity and the empathy necessary to listen to stories from all angles. And as I've done every day on the road, I'll do the same with this podcast. Take it all in with an open mind and share it with you so we can all understand another point of view more fully. So what is We the Voters exactly? Since July 2019, I've visited small towns and large cities in 26 states. I've talked to hundreds of people trying to understand what we have in common as Americans, even when it feels like we have nothing in common at all. Then I share it. There's a blog, a YouTube channel, an e-newsletter, and a spot on nearly all the social media sites, so you can virtually hop in my passenger seat without ever leaving your home. Now, it's right here on the We the Voters podcast, and someday it'll become a full-length book. I knew I had to start We the Voters because I truly believe that most people are good. And I had to believe that others felt that too. After visiting more than half the country, I can attest, it's true. It truly is. It's easy to get caught up in the labels and the sides, but when you stop and truly listen, it's not as easy to paint people with broad strokes. My goal is that We the Voters challenges you to consider people from all corners of the United States with the same empathy that you reserve for your family and friends. In more than a year on the road, I have found time and time again that there's more to people than meets the eye. If you're listening in with an open mind and heart, you may come to find that too. Season 1 of the We the Voters podcast is launching in just a few weeks, and I'm so excited to dive deep into some of the largest quandaries facing the U.S. today. This season, it's all about debunking American myths. From immigration to bipartisanship, free speech to healthcare, and nearly everything in between, I'll be diving into one topic from two counterpoints each week. My goal? We'll all gain some understanding and some context that makes finding common ground a little bit easier. I'm not here to convince you one way or the other. Instead, I want to let the stories I've heard and the research I've discovered speak for itself. Then, it'll be time for you to chime in. I have an open voicemail and an open inbox just waiting for your perspectives. And there's a chance they'll be read on the air, so we can all learn from real stories instead of just numbers. You may not agree with everything I say or everything I learn, but I'm putting We the Voters out there so that hopefully we can all gain some understanding and some empathy for our fellow citizens, those who think like you and those who don't. Want to keep up with We the Voters between episodes? Thought you'd never ask. You can find We the Voters at www.wethevotersproject.com. Right there, you can find the We the Voters blog. You can sign up for an exclusive email newsletter. You can see where I've been and where I'm going, and more. I'm also on Instagram at We the Voters and on Facebook at We the Voters Project. If you want to support the nonpartisan journalism done right here at We the Voters, I'd be so grateful. You can make a one-time donation via PayPal or Venmo, or make it a monthly subscription via Patreon. Every dollar makes a huge difference in keeping this dream my reality. You can support We the Voters at patreon.com/WeTheVoters. That's patreon.com/WeTheVoters. Monthly support starts at as little as $1 a month, and that donation can unlock exclusive Q&As, videos, letters sent straight to your mailbox, and more. If you want to support We the Voters without spending a dime, please consider rating We the Voters 5 stars in your favorite podcast app or sharing it with a friend. Those are the two biggest ways that We the Voters can grow, and I seriously couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. You can find links to everything I've talked about today in the show notes or at wethevotersproject.com. If you want to chat, I'd love to hear from you. Talking with people and hearing your stories is my favorite part of what I do, and it truly is the heart of We the Voters. You can write to me at wethevotersproject@gmail.com. Once again, I'm Emily Cate. This is We the Voters. And for now, I'm signing off. Until next time.